Hello, this is Corey Durbin, CEO of SHARx, and this is the Rising Tides podcast. Each week, I have the privilege of speaking with influential athletes about their rise to fame, the dedication to their sport, and what it takes to be successful. Let's dive in. I'm joined today by Sophie Cunningham, new Rising Tides brand ambassador for SHARx. Sophie, great to see you. Appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
Yes, I always love seeing your face. It's been a lot lately, actually, so it's good. It's good. I'm excited to be here.
Everybody has their crosses to bear, but apparently I'm yours, seeing my face for the last few weeks. But so where in the world is the Sophie Cunningham World Tour today? Do you know where you are?
No, I don't. So I just flew in from New York last night. I'm here in Arizona for a couple hours and then heading to LA. So just kind of bouncing around. It's a busy January, but it's starting to slow down a little bit after. And so, just embracing where I'm at, enjoying it, trying to get some sleep, but not so much, but it's fine.
Cool. I just left Arizona. We had 4 days of the most perfect weather, so I hope you're getting that run as well. But
yes, no. Wait, where are you right now? Are you in the cold, or are you still?
I'm in Oregon. I'm on the Oregon coast today, and it is stunning. So we winter here at certain points, and so I'm enjoying the time here today. I know there's this storm coming in the Midwest, and everybody's freaking out, and I'm glad I'm not in it.
Well, I got the heck out of there. I was there, and then New York was going to also get some of that same storm, and so I got out of there, and I'm 75-degree weather here, so I'm okay.
It's so good. I know why people live there. It's obvious, but
1000%.
Yeah, I was with Brock last week, and like, why would anybody leave this place in the winter? But for people who don't know, I mean, your accolades are pretty extensive. You're Missouri's all-time leading scorer. You were a 3-time All-SEC first-team selection, I believe. You AP All-American, had the WNBA record at 1.17 consecutive games with at least two three-pointers. 2019, you were the 13th overall pick. So I mean, a lot of great accolades for you.
Yeah,
and they're starting to grow and expand. I mean, it's got to be a whirlwind right now.
It is. This is something that I've always dreamed and prayed about. And so when you're kind of living in those prayers, it's quite awesome. And so I really am trying to enjoy and embrace every little detail, every little part of the journey. This past year tore my MCL, and it sucks. But at the same time, like, this is what makes the journey so special, is the highs and the lows, and embracing all that, because I know one day I'm gonna miss it. But it's fun for me. And I think the biggest thing for me is to give back, to make the next generation have it better than we had it, to inspire the next generation. And so, I've been blessed with this platform, and that's kind of why I'm all over the place, is so I can do these really fun opportunities and meet people like you, and meet great companies like you that are also trying to impact such a wide variety of people. And so when you meet people who kind of have the same vision, it's really fun. And so I think it's cool that basketball, and also your background, which is way over my head, that it kind of allows us to kind of come together and maybe, change people's lives for the better.
Yeah, I think you said it well, and it's really the beauty of everybody has different strengths, right? And different abilities. And when you find a connection point that you believe can make a difference, and when you talk about impacting the next generation, I got to see you at the Sophie Cunningham Classic and your family, which was it was a blast to meet your family. You can see where the genuineness emanates from, and I mean that in all seriousness, with your mother, with your sister, with your dad, how genuine they all are. The energy at the tournament, well, if it's not a tournament, but the basketball event was awesome, right? Talk about how that's grown. It's because that was year 4, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, Lindsay and I, our family, we grew up in Columbia, Missouri. And so smack dab in the Midwest. And growing up, we had to travel a lot to just like find tournaments and play teams and go to the coast to be seen by college coaches. And it's evolved a lot, but we loved how we grew up. We love our community, the support they've given us. It's just a blue collared, really fun community. And, they've given us so much. Why would we not give back to them? Why would we not bring top talent here, and the talent that is there, keep them here, and help them try to, go to Mizzou and carry on that legacy. And so for us, we're like, let's start a classic. Hopefully it turns into a tournament at some point, and bring all these top talented female athletes and let us help mentor them. Like I know they're going to take care of the basketball piece, but like how can we help them become amazing, excuse my French, but badass women in the world? Sports teaches you so many life lessons, and it's not always rainbows and butterflies. There's tough times too, but just being able to talk to the girls and spend my time with the girls and have my parents and my family also there for people to go talk to. Like it really is a family affair, and they loved you, by the way. They're really excited about what we're doing. So it really is a special thing, but it really has grown each year a lot, like a lot. I think there's over 6,000 teams that reached out last year wanting to be a part of it.
6,000?
Yeah,
6,000.
yes, across the nation. And so there's a market for it. And so we want to be the very best. We want people to be able to say, hey, we got invited to the Sophie Cunningham Classic this year. Like that is the goal. That is what I want, because we give them a great platform to play, but we also give them, a bunch of goodie bags and gifts, because when we were growing up, it was like we got all the hand-me-downs of the guys, which we love the guys, but we also think that there is a market for the girls to, be celebrated being a female athlete. And so it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun people came through. There was a great crowd, great games. And so this year was definitely the best year yet.
Well, as you know, I'm a dad of two daughters, and I
Yep.
like the badass girls,
Uh-huh.
badass women mentality. And that, as I've encouraged them, you don't play second fiddle to the guys.
Yeah.
We used to joke, if I take them out golfing, there's guys will say something stupid if you leave a putt short, like, oh, you hit that like a girl. Well, I used to
Yeah.
tell them, you hit that like a boy
Yeah.
if they left it too short. So hit it like a girl and do it
Awesome.
strong. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. But so when you started that event, I mean, you've been super successful, you and Lindsay both in Columbia, but how different is the vibe and the energy from when you started, or was it like it just took off like a meteor right away?
Yeah, I think from the very beginning, just because there is a market, and we did both play in college, and I did still have that WNBA kind of like title of someone throwing it, that it was always a pretty good event, but it's just growing. And each year it's just getting better and better. Lindsay's killing it at her job. I'm starting to really grow into my career even more and more, which is really allowing better opportunities and more opportunities, not only for myself, but for these girls with this classic. And so I think that's one of my biggest things is the more that my brand grows, that means I get to impact and help more people. And so I really try to give back in that sense. But it really has been just so awesome, just the amount of people who want to be involved in it, the crowds that show up, the teams that want to play in it. It's kind of shocking because to me, it's like I'm just me, right? Like I'm probably
Yeah.
the biggest dweeb you'll ever meet. Our family is a very normal, just goofy, fun family, but people want to be a part of that. And so it's cool that people come just to hang out, just to get a photo and autograph and watch some games. So it really has kind of exploded in the past couple of years.
I like that you're just you, and you seem comfortable in your own skin, and
Yep.
being who you are, and confident and self-aware, and still like missional, and it's like, how do I make a difference? And so with the classic, how much was talked about, or how important was it with you and Lindsay for that event to almost be like a launching pad for young women?
Yeah, when we first put it on, we didn't really know how big it would get or how many people would want to be involved. But we just knew that even if we impacted one girl's lives, we did our job, right? Like nowadays, people want to impact hundreds, thousands, millions. It's like, no, just do the next best thing, help the next person. And I think with this tournament, we're really doing that by impacting a lot of these girls' lives. And we go into the locker room after each game to each team, and we really do tell them, we're like, hey, we know you guys are basketball players, but I wish I had a WNBA player that was going to be here, that I could ask questions, that I could, pick their brain about. And so that's one of the things that I wanted to be very intentional about, that my sister and my family wanted to be very intentional about, is a lot of these pro athletes, they throw these camps or they throw classics or tournaments and they have the name up there, but they're never there. And so I did that too. I think there was a couple in high school where we were going to these tournaments. We're like, oh my gosh, we got there and no one was there. And I'm like, we could have done this at home. And so I really make sure, yeah, I'm like, what are we doing? Why are we traveling across the country just to
Yeah.
have a name? And I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like everyone else. And so we're there 24/7. And we really do make sure that like these girls know, like, hey, reach out. It doesn't have to be about sports. It can be about life. It can be about the next step in high school or in college or, whatever. Like, let us help mentor you and help us help you. Let us help you with our connections that we have that might help you go be successful and follow your dreams. And so Lindsay does a wonderful job at it. Lindsay's like the ultimate leader and best person you will absolutely ever meet. So she makes it easy for me just to kind of go in there and be my goofy self, but she makes sure the message gets across.
Yeah, well, for those of you who don't know, Lindsay is your sister. You played
Yeah.
college basketball with the young girls and young boys. They looked so happy to get to interact with you, and I could feel like you were sewing into them was an incredible amount of presentness and just care. I mean, it looked like you were having a lot of fun with that.
I truly do. Like, I think it's all about relationships and impacting people in a positive way. Or not even, I don't need to impact anyone, but just like fully being present and being myself and meeting people. Like, I'm telling you, the Missouri and Midwest, but really, Missouri community has supported me and my family so, so much. And so for us to be able to go back and throw a classic that draws people together, that draws the community together, that, there's a lot of people that come into town. So it gives back to our hometown too, with restaurants, with hotels, with grocery shopping, whatever it is. Like, it feels good. That's what it's about. And I promise you, it just, being back with like my type of people just always feels good. And so of course I'm going to be like talking to people. They probably got tired of me asking questions and hanging out and doing whatever, but that weekend is special. It is exhausting. Don't get me wrong. We're there from like 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. But when you've been blessed with a lot, you have to give quite a bit too. And so that's just part of it.
You guys are doing it. It's awesome. And I met you through Mike Kelly, speaking of Mizzou, and he's obviously an incredibly great ambassador for the state and thinks also very highly of you and your family. And so what's that connection like with Mike, but also with Mizzou for you still?
Yeah, it's special. My grandparents, my aunts, uncles, mom, dad, sister, myself, we all played, cousins now, we all played sports at Mizzou. So it's like a family affair. I grew up 5 to 10 minutes away. Mike Kelly is like the voice of Mizzou. I went to high school with some of his kids. Like, it is just like a whole big family affair in Missouri, especially in Columbia. And so he is the ultimate legend. He's an awesome guy, is phenomenal at his job, but even more of a phenomenal person in how he treats people and how he carries himself. And so it was awesome. So when he called me, introducing me to SHARx and you, I was like, of course, I didn't really know anything about SHARx at the time. And then Mike's like, hey, you did it. And of course, if it's coming from Mike, I'm like, hey, say less. I will do whatever you need me to do. I trust you that much. And I know what type of guy you are. So if he's, getting himself involved in his busy schedule with the company and with a person like you, I was like, hey, let's set it up. And so this has been super fun. He introduced us together, and Mike has kind of been, talking me through each step that you guys are doing, which has been absolutely mind-blowing and phenomenal.
I was joking with Mike yesterday because I said, yeah, I'm going to have our podcast with Sophie. And then I said, we'll do one together after that. And he's like, oh, yeah, right, Sophie first. I said, well, I saved the beauty part for last. I'm like, no.
I love it. I love it. Mike's the best.
We had a good time. But so you're still, I mean, we were back at Mizzou a couple times, at least this year, obviously for your tournament. But I know some game days because I saw you at one of the game days. How deep is the connection and the roots with the people at the university still?
It's so good. When I was in college, I had about 3 or 4 athletic directors, which is a lot. And so I became really close with a couple of them and still talk to them to this day. And now when I left, I didn't really know the people who was, kind of running the athletic programs, which is totally okay. I'm busy, they're busy. Why would they know me? But now with Laird Beach, he has been phenomenal. Like, we as a Missouri athletic department, we could not ask for a better guy making the decisions and controlling the athletic department. So he's been amazing. But I now helped kind of hire our Mizzou women's basketball coach, Kelly Harper, and she is going to change that program around. And she is a great human as well. And so my ties run deep, and they always will. I'm always going to be very proud and humble to be from Mizzou. I want people to know how amazing it is, how great it is, the people they're working. So anything I can do to help Mizzou as a whole, but really the athletic department kind of shine its light, I'm going to do it because I care and I love and I bleed the black and gold.
I've been following the women's team, and from a distance. It's hard to spend as much time as I used to, but
Yeah.
I've been impressed so far. It seems like they're very competitive and won some games that maybe people didn't think they would win. So
Yep.
it seems like they're on the right track.
They are. And nowadays with NIL and the transfer portal, it's really hard to create a culture. And I actually played against Coach Harper. Like she was one of the coaches that our team played against, and some of her assistants now I physically played against growing up in college and in high school. And so I just knew the type of person she is. She's a winner. She cares deeply not only about the girls as a basketball player, but outside lives, which is huge. It's a great positive impact on them. And so I was like, hey, we need to bring her in. Like she is a winner. She knows how to get it done. And it is her first year. And so, they were scrambling to put a team together, but they're doing pretty dang good for the time that they had. But I do think in the next couple of years, like you are going to see a massive just change. Like it's going to kind of, I believe that it's going to kind of be like the basketball when our teams were there, like they're going to put Mizzou women's basketball back on the map, and that's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And so I'm super excited for them.
Yeah, it's good to see because I know it got a little stale the last season and a half. Your absence was greatly missed for sure. And now when we're seeing the NIL impact, and it's crazy, out of control. Talking to Brock about that last week, but are you seeing an impact on the women's side yet with NIL?
I'm not so, I feel like the NIL and the rules and the transport, it like changes every week. I know that's being dramatic, but it does change, kind of monthly. And, as an athlete that was through it, they deserve to get paid. They deserved to get more than what we got. But I also think there has to be parameters around it. It's gotten out of control. The NCAA has lost complete control. There's no rules. They can do whatever they want. And so when it comes to that type of stuff, the teams that are going to win are the teams that have the money and that are going to invest in each team. And so you see that a lot on the guys' side with the football programs, with the basketball. And, I think that there's more, especially when it comes to where maybe Mizzou's at, there's more money that could be pushed to, the women's programs. And that's just how it is, right? Like the teams that have the money, you're going to get the best players. If you have the best players, they're going to win, and you're going to get those titles. You're going to get those championships. And so I'm hoping and very curious to see, the future of women's basketball at Missouri.
Yeah. To just take a step back on, you talked about the transfer portal and all that stuff. And, I'm with you that I think the players deserve to get paid. I played college sports for 2 years. I played at Wake Forest. I played at Northeast Missouri State, and it's a job. It's a full-time job. And so that, not being able at that time, you couldn't work, but there's something about the development. Like let's say, you started at Mizzou and then you're like, well, I didn't get to play my first, this isn't true for you, but if, you didn't get to play, I'm going to go somewhere and get to play. And so they're offering me 6 figures to go over here. And then you move again. Yeah. The development side, it seems like it's going to be detrimental long-term to the kids.
1,000%. And I think anyone who truly has a brain, you see that. Like especially these kids who are, some of them are getting paid millions and they're not even playing. Like they're not even playing. And, they might be the big star or whatever in college. But if you don't learn how to work through things, to be a hard worker, to know how to handle adversity, if you don't know how to do that and you just expect everything to be given to you like that, our system is definitely setting them up for failure. Because do you think a kid that's not even playing ball, who's making $1 million, well, he's not going pro, so then he's going to get offered a $75,000 job? You think he's going to take it? Absolutely not. And so it's just, I think the transfer portal, in some instances, I think it's okay when it comes to, maybe the coach is not a good person and it's kind of an abusive mental, like in that type of situation, I get it. But if you're transferring just because you're not playing or you're not satisfied, like, I don't get that. I will never get that, because you have got to learn how to just to work through things. There are not many people that go to the college level and are stars like that. That's just not how it works. That's not how life works. And, my high school to college, it might have been like that for me, but my college to pros, it was not like that for me. And so I kind of had to learn the hard way of like, hey, you're going to learn this one way or another. And so for me, my first, 3.5 years in the league, I was Diana Taurasi sub. and I had to learn to be okay with that and to still stack my days and to still try to progress and get better. And once I really changed and shifted my perspective in my mind, that's when my career really started to flourish, because I was like, hey, like I had to learn this the hard way. I never had to go through this, but now at the top level, at the most elite level, I had to. And so I just feel like the system is setting the kids up for failure. Of they want instant gratification, they want fame, they want money, but I think eventually they're going to understand that like all those things are not fulfilling. They're not. And if you are making that type of money, then I think that it should be a requirement to take financial courses. Like a lot of these kids don't come from that type of money, and so learn
Hmm.
how to invest. Learn, you have your fun money over here, but learn how to continue to make this side grow. And so I do think if there's going to be that type of money, that there has to be certain requirements. Transfer portal just sucks in general. Like that has got to change. But honestly, the NCAA has got to get a handle on a lot of things. So it kind of points back to them when you think about kind of all the negative side effects.
Yeah, well, I'm with you all the way on that. And people can see even where SHARx is today with 115
Yep.
employees or whatever, or where you are in your career and say, I want what she has, or I want to be where
Hmm.
they are. Well, yeah, I believe you do, but there's a road to get there. There's a road to
Facts.
get to where you are in your career. And that's so speaking of the WNBA, I want to ask you this to shift because where you
Yeah.
are today. But I want to. What's the date, June 17th, 2025, mean to you? Does it mean anything to you?
Honestly, I don't even know the date. I probably know what you're talking about. It's funny that you work kind of your whole career to be the very best at something. And what kind of made me explode around, the country and parts of the world is being a great teammate and standing up for my team. And it's like, I like, I want to be one of the best shooters. I want to be X, Y, and Z. But it came down to simply being a great teammate is what made me kind of blow up a little bit. And so it has been so much fun. There has been a lot of fun opportunities that came from that specific play. And let me break it down for you real quick. I,
Can
that
I
was
can
never
I
my,
give a second of context because I know, but for
yes.
anybody who is lit, that was the date you stood up for what were a lot of injustices for going on, and it's particular against Caitlin, but
Yeah.
a late game layup, and you tackled, I forget the player who you
Yep.
tackled, and everything kind of hit the fan from there. So sorry,
It
thank you.
did. Yeah. So what happened was that the officiating has been horrible and across our league, and everyone knows it. And we got to clean that up. But that game in specific, there was just a lot of things that it was just too much. It was too much, and we were winning. We were playing Connecticut, and I think there was like 30 seconds left. We were up by 15, and somebody turned the ball over, and I was running back, and I knew in my head, I was like, don't foul, like you're up, like it's fine. And I was tired, I was hungry, I was over everyone's shit, to be honest. And at the last second, I was like, F it. And so I drew a really hard foul and kind of got in a scuffle afterwards. But I think I never want to be known for hurting people. But I will say, I think that was just a message across the league that like, we're tired of it. We're done kind of putting up with that shit. And if you guys want to play that way, then like there's people on our team that will be able to hold our own. And so I think after that, there wasn't a lot. A lot of people didn't really try a lot of other things. And yeah, Caitlin was hurt, but there's other people on our team. And the majority of teams were kind of just let us play ball, which was nice. And so
Yeah.
I think the message was sent, and it was pretty clear across the league that I'm not really scared of anybody. So it is what it is.
Well, I enjoyed rewatching it in light of knowing where you are today. Because first of all, the enforcer kind of acronym or
Hmm.
nickname kind of came from that. But the steely-eyed look, I is like, don't mess with us, don't mess
Yeah.
with us again. And then you could hear the Indiana fans chanting, Sophie, Sophie, Sophie. And so I look at that and go, wow, it's pretty clear that this defining moment that it was maybe kind of obvious now looking back at it. And just how has that changed your trajectory in this whole
Yeah.
whirlwind tour you're on right now?
I mean, night and day, night and day. And I'll tell you, like, I never did that in order to gain attention, right? Like, if anything, I thought it'd be like after I did, I was like, oh gosh, I'm going to get in trouble. Like that probably shouldn't have done that. Like seriously, in the
Yeah.
locker room, I was like, oh God, I'm about to get yelled at. I know I'm for sure getting fined, but whatever. And I will say though, it has been a night and day difference. I think around the league, people would know kind of who I am, and there's fun opportunities with that. Going back home to Missouri, there's definitely, couldn't really go anywhere without people knowing you. But now, since that's happened, I was in New York a day ago, and six people stopped me, and I had a hood on, a hat, and it's like people really know, yeah, like people really know who you are, and like it's so weird to me because I don't really consider myself famous or known, and it is like been shocking the amount of people who truly do like know me for basketball and for sticking up for my teammate. And so it's been fun. It's definitely changed everything. It's changed everything. And so it's been fun. I've been busy since, but I really do think that that's unlocked so many cool opportunities. And I think the most important thing for me that has been so special is like the amount of little girls who now get to see someone who might look like them, someone who might come from where they come from, or someone who might have the same morals or beliefs or anything. Like the amount of impact that I get to have on those little girls and little boys now, I think that's what's most fun for me. So
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And it kind of warms my heart in this process because for me, tying the connection to SHARx was that's the
yeah,
young woman and that I want on our team as a
yep,
SHARx ambassador. That's when, fate kind of turned me on to Mike,
yep,
and we started a friendship there because the way you stand up for your teammates is what we feel like we're doing for Americans on the prescription drug side, as you know.
yep,
And we average getting the drug costs down 79%, and sometimes there's resistance because from some employees initially because they have to take a different course or a
yep.
different access point, and they got to jump through different channels. But then they realize the difference we're making, it's really impactful. And then
Hmm.
the flood of positive texts and emails comes in, and having you connected to us, because I know how you stand up for your teammates, and seeing you stand up and I think be proud of what we do at SHARx is part of why you are on our team.
Oh, 1,000%. And I think, anytime there's change, people are a little skeptical. But I think when you have someone, you can trust and they really break it down to make it very clear, like what you guys are doing with SHARx is saving people hundreds of thousands, maybe millions, and, saving
Yep.
companies millions. Like that is a huge big deal. And what they can do with that money, could be very impactful for a lot of people and a lot of different resources. And so, it really is cool. And I think that, I'm just in the position to do this, but, Mike Kelly was it for me of, when you find someone you can trust and they're really, they have a message and they're backing a company and wanting to be an ambassador and endorser with that company. I think when you can trust the person who's speaking, more people are going to be like, oh, what is Sophie doing? What is Mike Kelly doing? What is this SHARx? And they're able to trust. And so it's funny that you say that because I really do. My dad worked at the University of Missouri for the longest time. And, he needed prescriptions at some points in his life. And the amount of money that you guys could really help save and really help people still be healthy and have what they need, but overall help Missouri, the Mizzou community, the Columbia community, anyone who supports the University of Missouri, like it is a huge, huge thing. And you guys are standing up for those people and for those universities. And so, of course, when I heard that, I was like, hell yeah. I was like, that's right up my alley. And so I think that's why I'm here talking to you today.
It means a lot to us without question. And you've been in some of the meetings that we've had, and there's more to come. And I think the folks that we've both talked to at the state, at the university, the prospect of you being sort of
Yep.
the face and name behind the change that's happening is something they're all super duper excited about.
Yeah. So just being from Missouri, I get to travel to everywhere, and you get to meet a lot of cool people, but to be able to be proud and talk about Missouri with just so much love and wanting to do anything I can to help give back, I'm going to do that. And so I was at the governor's office and we were talking about SHARx. We were talking about how this could really positively impact Missourians. And
Yeah.
it's funny, I'm like, you guys are the smart ones here. All this is pretty much over my head, and you guys really have to dumb it down for me. But once I really understood it, I was like, I am all for this. And so it's been fun. I think it's just the very beginning of our relationship. And, I think that once people fully understand what you guys are trying to do, people are gonna be right on board, just like how I was.
Yeah, we love the support that you have and how much you're behind us. So I gotta ask you, I've gotta ask because everyone's gonna know what's it you talked about playing with Diana Taurasi. What's it like playing with Caitlin? She's the Michael Jordan of her generation, right?
1,000%. It's so fun. At the end of the day, she's still like a little kid. Like she's so young, and it's just so funny. But she's a mastermind at the game. The way she thinks, the way she plays, it's amazing. The way she can shoot the ball from so far out is unbelievable at times. But anytime you are in the presence of a generational player, it's special, right? So you want to seize the opportunities. You want to do whatever you can to help take the load off. But at the end of the day, like we just have such a fun friendship. Like I truly do love her. She's a great human. She has a lot thrown at her at a very young age, and the way she handles it all with such grace and class has been so fun to see firsthand. But it's funny because so many people are such in awe of her, and now I'm just like, dude, you're a dork. Like I'm just like, you are such a dweeb. Like I'm over it. And so no, it's just been so fun to be able to kind of get close, and hopefully there's a lot more of us playing together and making memories, down the road.
It's a wild world we're in, that because she's essentially my oldest daughter's age, and it's like,
Yep.
the level of, I'll say worship, and I don't mean it that way, that
Mm-hmm.
comes along with so many athletes and how weird it can get. I
Yep.
think for me, the really odd part is people started to really pay attention to the WNBA when Caitlin Clark came along.
Yep.
And it's wild how many of the players in the league are doing damage to that instead of saying, boy, we got the
Yeah.
golden goose here. It'll that, as we say with rising tides, it raises all ships, right? So kind of
Yep.
weird dynamic.
It is, and it's unfortunate. I've been in the league to see kind of when, the harder parts of it, of when we were getting paid $25,000 and there wasn't great, and you just weren't treated like a professional athlete. And now I'm really seeing all the great things of what it really means to be a professional athlete. And you have to credit her. Yes, you have to give love and credit to the trailblazers of our league and everything that they did in order for us to get here. But where social media is, and she was in it at just the right time, right? And I just don't fully understand why not only players in this league, but maybe people in the front office of our league, and other people who are sitting in a position of power of making choices, why they're not understanding that, you have the player that has made the WNBA explode not only in North America but around the world. So why
Yeah.
are we not, as a league and as a business, trying to, multiply that and capitalize on it? Like it just will never make sense to me. And so for me, I try to give people their flowers. I don't want to take anything away from people, but I also speak the truth. And I think a lot of people don't like that. But, if you're doing it right, she's making you a lot more money too. She's giving you a platform to make a positive impact. She's giving you the eyes and the intention to show people the skill that you have while playing basketball. Like there are so many things that not only her, I'll give it to Cameron Brink, I'll give it to Angel Reese, I'll give it to, that class as a whole had so many fans that they brought into the W, that everyone who's already in the W should be licking their chops and being thankful
Yeah.
for it. And so it's funny to me, but at the same time, like if they can't see it, then they can't see it. And that's not my problem. They're going to see in about 10 years that it was theirs. And so it is what it is.
I think it comes down to there is no limit to what we can accomplish when we don't care who gets the credit.
Thousand
And
percent.
it looks like it's almost a jealousy thing instead of look how we all benefit. And I think
Yep.
Sharks is like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
for my cheap tie into this is like, I don't care. We want to help get drug prices down for
Yeah.
Missourians, for Americans, for everybody. I don't need the credit. I don't need my name
Mm-hmm.
on the wall. I get to talk to cool people like you because of Sharks, and we have some fun and we make a difference. And
Yep.
so that's what it's all about. So did you accept the invitation to Caddy again?
I don't think I got an invite after I hit somebody. So probably probably not. I don't know. It's so funny because like everyone always, some people act a certain way and feel like they have to, and I'm just like, I'm just me. And I'm like, I don't know how I got invited here. I warned those people that I haven't swung a golf club since like the fourth grade. No one listened, and it is what it is. They signed a waiver, so I didn't get sued. Everything's fine. But just to go back on your point, I think it's so funny that like we should be hyping each other up, right? Like we should be embracing what everyone brings to the table, and the uniqueness and the greatness. Everyone is different. And so when you get, females in themselves, if you get too many of us around each other, it's a lot. But hopefully our league can kind of shift their mindsets a little bit, and celebrate everyone's uniqueness, because everyone brings something great to the table. And when everyone's mind is, making this thing a positive and happy place to play ball and inspire people, and for everyone to get their flowers and to make money, like it is super cool when everyone's mind is on the same goal, what people can accomplish. And I think that you guys are like that at SHARx, of just what you guys are accomplishing, because you don't care who gets the credit. You don't care who's the face. You guys treat people the same, and you embrace people. And so it's been fun to be a part of. So thank you.
Thank you. It's certainly why we align closely. And so I'll let you go. I know you're headed out of town. What's next? You got some other things going on.
I do. I'm heading out to LA for a couple commercial shoots, out to Florida, and hopefully in the month of February, I'm more just basketball. It's more just working out, getting back in shape, and I'm still doing rehab and working out, but I think February is calming down a lot for me. So yeah.
You just got to go get the league to get a new deal. You get that done, and then you guys can rock and roll.
1,000%, 1,000%.
Hey, it's great to spend time with you. Safe travels.
You too.
I appreciate your involvement and everything you're doing and where we're going, and just continued success. I hope the star keeps rising and you have the impact on all these young ladies and a whole generation.
Well, thank you. And I so appreciate it. Give your girls a hug for me.
All right. Thanks, Sophie. See you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.